Good evening, good evening, good evening. Happy Labor Day and Beyonce's birthday. Okay. So I figured we are approaching the fourth quarter, which will be October. So let's kind of go over some things that we should be doing, some things that we should be looking into, some things that we need to make sure that we kind of assess before we get into the fourth quarter. Okay, so we can end 2023 with a bang. So, good evening, everyone. You know, today is Beyonce's birthday. I should have had like a little beat on, since it's B's birthday, but today I was at the gym, getting all this fruit together, cleaning my house, or I guess hanging up the clothes that the housekeeper did, but I didn't get myself together. But I said tonight, let's kind of get into what we need to do to prepare ourselves to end 2023 the right way. Okay? So, when we are approaching the fourth quarter, we want to look at what's going to be going on for the fourth quarter and then go ahead and make that lap, because after January is going to be, February, March, April, May, June, which business-wise is going to be tax refund season. So people are going to have excess cash flow. We have Valentine's Day. We're going to have a spring break. We're going to have Mother's Day, Father's Day. I'm missing another holiday. What am I missing? January, February, March, April, May, June. Anyway, that February, March, April, May is we need to be looking at our calendars as to what do we want our business to already be able to be selling, doing, collaborating. Baby, say MLK. Yes, lazy liaison. MLK. Easter. Thank you. Easter. I knew it was another holiday. Easter. Thank you. Okay. So it is September. One thing, come on, Cinco de Mayo. You are sure right. Cinco de Mayo. Juneteenth. All right. So Memorial Day. I done missed about 4. Come on, President's Day. Yes. So we want to kind of start preparing ourselves for what we want our business to do, okay? So regardless if you have the funding for this, you don't have the funding for this, if we're going to make notes as to what we need to do so we know how to prepare for the upcoming, money season. Now, going into the fourth quarter, we're going to run into Halloween, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Christmas, New Year's. Okay. So, if you're in fitness, new year, new you, new body, that's going to be the kind of, time that you want to hop around. Also, if you're fitness, everyone's overeating or not eating healthy, Thanksgiving, Christmas, that'll be a good little time. If we are beauty, everyone is trying to get it together for, to be the flyest cousin or auntie for Thanksgiving. Everyone's going to be taking these Christmas photos with the family, whether it's going to be like a photo shoot type photo with like, a nice dressed up outfit, or they got their pajama sets. There's October, November. There should be like some kind of dance, like a homecoming, something for the high school, colleges, dance. So for beauty, we're thinking about all that. And then of course, beauty, fitness, New Year's Eve, everyone needs to be snatched for this dress party, whatever. Okay. If we are selling a product or a service, I am not a fan of sales, but if you do sales, so you have all of those holidays, instead of sales, I prefer to give value. So if I am selling, okay, I'll do me. I'm selling a grant bundle. So I won't put the grant bundle on sale, but it'd be like, I'll give you a grant bundle and a tax deduction guide for the same price of a grant bundle. So you can kind of give something else. It'll be smaller. It won't be equivalent to the same thing, but give more value with your product versus just marking everything on sale. If you are a high ticket, or if you're just not a fan of sales. I'm not a fan of sales, because if you're always doing a sale, you're conditioning your customer to only buy during a sale if you do sales frequently. But if, depending on your price structure and depending on the volume, that model may work. Like Fashion Nova, is going to text you every day, sometimes twice a day, about this coupon code, right? So if you are a volume affordable thing and you do sales, and you want to have different sales for all these different holidays. Now, one thing that everyone needs to be doing is, let's first assess our website, right? When's the last time we've updated our website? Do we need to maybe add some new photos? Can we change or update a couple of pages? Sometimes, you will have that first time client, but once your business grows, you're going to have a lot of repeat business. And I'm saying all this with my old website up, right? So I'm talking to myself. I already have a new website. I just, I have 2 more pages to fix, and I just haven't fixed those 2 pages. So this little old dusty site is still up, right? But let's go over our website. What can we change? Can we update a photo, add a video? Do we have some more customer testimonials? Can we take another photo shoot, whether if it's of you to kind of update your photos? Can you take another photo shoot if you have photos for your product? Can you add some new videos, or just change a page, or just change the home page, right? What is something that we can do to kind of just make our business look refreshed? If we are on social media, how can we just revamp our social media? Can we maybe go live more often? So either we're going to go live showing behind the scenes of us preparing the product or the service, or maybe we are doing, posting more customer testimonials. Maybe we are updating what our graphics look like. If we have like certain templates that are just advertising different things, maybe we can update those, change them around a little bit. You want to always kind of make your, whenever your customer lands on your page, it should be refreshing. Like, oh, this is cute, or oh, okay, Or if you're getting positive feedback from a certain reel, how can I make more reels like that? Or how can I make more posts? Like, this post got a whole lot of feedback, or I got a whole lot of comments on this post. Well, that means that your target audience, your follower likes that. How can you make more posts or more content like that? If our social media is crickets, meaning like no one's really checking for us, that's fine. Go on similar industry pages. What are they doing? And whatever they're doing, what are some things that you like that they're doing? But more importantly, how can you put your own spin on it, right? How can we kind of make our content a little more appealing or refreshing? Is there any kind of, meme or something that I can do that's kind of industry related? You want to make sure that, everywhere that your customer hits, that they are just captivated by your content. That's going to make them want to like you. I don't know like sales statistics, but just because you promote something or you advertise something, a customer is not going to just pull the trigger all the time. sometimes a customer is kind of like dating. You got to kind of, hey, you see your pretty girl, what's your name? Where are you from? You're so beautiful. Can I get your number? Right? Then when you get her number, you got to call her. You got to take her out to dinner. You got to, take her to a fun date. If you really want to establish a rapport with someone, you got to kind of put some effort and some time and some money into it, right? So that's how you should be thinking about your customer. Just because you post a reel about your product or service, or you're posting a coupon code, that may not just cause them to buy, right? That may gain their attention. You may gain a follower, and now I'm just following your content. Right? I like what you're doing. I like the product. I do want to buy it. I may have clicked the link in your bio, but then, my son came out from school. I just didn't make the purchase, right? But every day you're consistently putting that content out, whether you're educating me about a problem I didn't know how I had, you're educating me about a problem I know I have, and now I know that you're the solution. Oh my gosh, I'm just seeing the content. And then finally, after you have wowed me, I'm now going to purchase. Some girls, you may woo her on the first date. Some girls, it may take you a couple of months to woo her, right? Or vice versa. You may be going out with the guy and he has a whole roster, right? It may take you a couple of months or several months, and be like, you know what? Let me kind of cut everyone off and just focus on you. So you don't know where your customer is, how you caught their attention, but you have to always be giving them content to kind of court them, date them. Hey, I love you. I just don't want your money. I don't want a one night stand. Once I get your money, I still want you to like me. I still want to go out with you. I'm still going to be, showing up every day for my business. So social media is free. Social media is, everyone is browsing on TikTok. Everyone is browsing on Instagram. Everyone is browsing. Are people still on Facebook? I'm not on Facebook, but I guess on Facebook, right? So give them something to look at, right? And then that's going to just kind of date your customer. So we're kind of going to like, hey, what can I do to kind of give my website a nice little remix, a nice little refresh? What can I do on my social media to kind of give a nice refresh? What can I add to my social media? Any page that you follow, even if it's not in your industry, what do you like about the page? And then how can you kind of make it into your own? A third thing you want to do is let's assess these numbers, meaning how much are you selling every single month minus what are all of your expenses, and then what is that bottom number? Okay, this is going to be called financial. So on a profit and loss statement, you're going to have all your income for the month minus all your expenses. And then that bottom number is going to be your net profit. So your gross income is all your money before your expenses. Your net income is going to be the money minus the expenses, right? What months are bigger than others? On the big months, what were happening on those months as to why you had increased sales? Maybe you were at a conference. Maybe you had a sale and that sale just did good. Maybe you launched a new product. Maybe you were, doing more lives on Instagram. Maybe you were, offering one-on-one consultations. Maybe you were walking around, in a branded polo, just doing a whole bunch of just different marketing ideas. You're passing out flyers. You are connecting with people on social media. You are connecting with people, in your neighborhood, just trying to get the word out about your business. Go through your months from January to August. Which were your biggest months, right? Another reason why we want to know our numbers is because normally an industry has seasons. So if I know March and April and May were my busy months, I want to make sure that I'm stocked up on my inventory for March, April, and May. Not only am I stocked up on my inventory, maybe I may even launch a new product in January. This is how we can plan for our business. If we're just going through the motions, doing the same thing every single day, we're not preparing for the growth, and we're going to just be stagnant, meaning our numbers are going to just be the same. Okay, so break down what your numbers are. I have a business tax planner on my website. It has a monthly calendars for all your income. I think I have it here. I'll show you. I'm a paper and pen kind of a girl. They have QuickBooks, they have FreshBooks, they have other things that you can use to track your income, but I like paper and pen. So I got like a little income tracker. So like every day you can kind of, write down what your sales are. And then I have like, different pages for the different types of expenses. And then that way you can kind of know what your numbers are. Like, okay, so my heavy months were this and my skim months were this. Why was I skim? Was I out of the inventory? Did I not have the sale? Was my product price wrong? Did maybe maybe I had some little bootleg pictures on my website, but then when I got some better photos, it changed. We want to know what's driving the traffic, what's giving us the increase, so we can continue to do that. In business, some things work and some things don't. The second we find out what's working, that's what we want to duplicate. That's the ad that we want to put more money on. That's what we want to run with, okay? So we want to make sure that we are assessing our numbers from January to August, because we're in September now. So we kind of know what's going on, so we can kind of be prepared for next year. Now, going into fourth quarter, what is your goal? Okay, so October, November, December, what are you trying to achieve? Are we trying to just, be consistent? Like, I don't know what your industry is. Maybe your industry is just gonna, like, maybe you're slow around the holiday times, right? So are you trying to just maintain sales, or, hey, I'm trying to increase sales? Maybe this would be a great time to launch a new product or a new service. What is our goal for that last quarter? We already know that depending on who you are and what what kind of holiday person you are we going to kind of check out come December 15th? And, we're into, holiday lights and hot chocolate tasting and, taking the kids to go see Santa or the pumpkin patch. Like, if we're checking out December 15th, whatever you do, that's fine, but we got to make sure that we have a game plan to double down on that October, November, December. Black Friday is always a big selling week. But if you've been noticing the trends, Black Friday has now kind of eased its way into the beginning of November and sometimes the end of October. Like, everyone's trying to make their Black Friday sale earlier because everyone's trying to get the money, right? If I can get your money first before Dillard's gets it, I'm good. If I can get your money first before Neiman's gets it, I'm good. So everyone's been kind of easing up that Black Friday sale. So Black Friday is really no longer that Friday after Thanksgiving. It's normally starting sometimes in the beginning of November. So if you had a Black Friday sale last year and it made sense, meaning you made a lot of money, but not just made a lot of money, you made profit, right? We don't want to just give things away, but if you made a lot of profit, well, how can you mirror that Black Friday sale so you can kind of duplicate that result, but get a bigger return on your investment, right? What can you do different? What can you add? If you have maybe one product on sale, maybe we have two products on sale. If we're kind of stagnant, maybe around the holiday time, this would be a great time to launch a new product or service. We're just kind of doing game planning in September just to kind of get ready for this last quarter. The last quarter is going to be holiday season. So depending on what your business is in, it may be a super busy time for you. So if you are selling things that are sold a lot during the holidays, you may want to kind of make sure that we are increasing our inventory right now, so we're not running out. The worst thing you want to do is, have a Black Friday sale and run out, or have some kind of special and then you run out, because now you're going to just be seeing all the money that you missed that was just sitting right in front of you. So maybe right now we need to be doubling up on inventory, making sure we have our packaging, maybe kind of tweaking whatever our ad is so that when it's time to run, we're able to run. Do we have the proper systems in place? Meaning, we already have how the product's being delivered or how it's going to be shipped out. So if you are the kind of person who checks out kind of, mid-December to have your family holiday fun, the business is still, making money and everything is still going its course. Okay. So I challenge you guys in September, what are some things that you can do to kind of spice up your business for your customer so that these last 3 months we can really, increase our sales. Let's see, numbers, website update, social media update, Black Friday sales, revamping the website, price increases, right? A lot of businesses will do a price increase. Normally that January, new year, new you, January is a popular time when people increase on pricing. So maybe we don't have a sale, but I was like, hey, our prices are increasing on January 1st. Now is the time to get X, Y, and Z before it increases, right? Normally, businesses will give you about a 60-day notice. Chanel's always increasing their prices. Louis always increasing their prices. They're going to send an email out like, hey, due to the demand, we're having another increase. So the increase happens on blah, blah, blah. So you don't even have to have a sale. You can just increase your prices and let them know, hey, come 2024, we are having a price increase. You may want to also, if you don't feel comfortable doing a price increase, adding a premium product or service to your business. So if you're trying to get more bang out the buck, or you're trying to, maybe we're in that affordable, range, and you're trying to kind of expand your, how much your customer is spending, make like some kind of premium bundle. Okay, so this client is going to be the client who's not going to get the regular bins. I'm going to get the AMG, right? Like the person who just wants that extra, cherry on top with the whipped cream and the sprinkles, right? What product do you have for a person that price isn't an option? I just want what I want, and I want whatever is the most prestigious product or service you have. Okay, so maybe it may be a bundle that encompasses all of what you sell for a price. Maybe it's going to be, I don't know, if you're doing a service like an additional one-on-one consultation or something with you. But if every year you're adding like a bigger package and a bigger package, or something more expensive, or just something that's a little bit more premium, that's another way to kind of bring in a higher earning or a higher spending client without messing with your normal customer base. This could be something that you already have planned. This could be like, well, let me see how much more can I increase? Will my customer be willing to pay this? Like sometimes, who went up on their prices? Dollar Tree has gone up on their prices, right? Like when things are $1, it's kind of like, are you even looking at it? You're just like, it's $1, I'll get 3, right? But now they've gone up. Five Below has also gone up on their prices, right? Like I used to just, buy every charger in the world, right, from Five Below. But, sometimes when people do a price increase, you'd be like, do I really want this pen for $1.75 versus $1? And if it's not really moving you, you may put it down, right? So if you don't kind of know how you want to do your price increase, you don't want to mess with your bread and butter, add something new that's premium. Now, I'm not just saying, take anything and just increase the pricing. The value has to mirror, the value should be more than what the person is paying, right? But this is going to be a way to kind of add a premium product or a premium service, to whatever it is that you're selling. How can you be a little bit more branded? If you are a person who sees clients, or we're going out in the community, can we maybe, upgrade to maybe some branded sweatshirts, t-shirts, hats? Like, how can you make yourself look more corporate, meaning look more like a Fortune 500 company? If no one is seeing your business, but you are selling a product, how can I make maybe my packaging more, like maybe I'm doing generic packaging because that's what was in the budget. Maybe I have a little bit more in the reserves now, and I want to wow my customer, come 2024. So maybe I'm going to have more branded packaging, whether it just be more on color, or I'm actually having my logo on the actual box or container that my product is coming in. Maybe you can wrap your car, right? When I had my hair boutique and my hair salon, I bought a Ford Transit, and I wrapped the whole thing. This is circa 2000. This is circa 2008 to 2013. So like now, vehicle wrapping, is common. It was like, whoa, what is this? If we can't afford a vehicle wrap, you can sure get you a vehicle magnet. You can put it on your doors, a cute logo and your phone number and your Instagram or your social media tags, anything that can make you stand out. What can you do? That's of course in the budget to kind of give your business that edge. Now, when we talk about that January, February, March, April, May, for starting 2024, if we already are planning out what we can do to end 2023 with a bang, we're going to be circling into 2024 with some momentum. So this is the time for us to shine, right? It's the time for us to turn up. This January, February, March, April, May is just, it's income tax, it's extra cash flow, it is several holidays, several things, or dances, school functions, games for high school, colleges. We got spring break, we got vacations. We got, of course, Mother's Day, Father's Day. Although like the first quarter and a half of 2024 is really a money season. So whatever you feel like your business is lacking, just make a to-do list, right? Like, I do need a website. I need to revamp my website. I need some more inventory. I need to add a SKU. I need to add another product to my product line or my service line. What do we need to do? And then what is the cost for what you feel like you need to do? And then when can we see ourselves executing that? So when we make this turn for 2024, we already know when I get these sales, I'm using this money for, I'm adding sunglasses to my boutique line. I'm going to be adding, I need to revamp the website for this service line. I need to go ahead and take this conference or get this certification so I can offer this service. So we already know what we're doing when it comes to the new things that we're going to offer for February, March, April, May. Now, another reason why we got to be ready for that first quarter is because when people have excess cash, like they're just spending it, right? But they may not get the money till end of February, March. We don't want to wait till they get the money to let them know, hey, we got this. Hey, over here. We want to already be advertising to them December, January, February, right? So, you know how a lot of times, especially if you're like, ooh, I don't get paid till next Friday, but when I get paid, I'm about to get boom, 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 boom. Or, ooh, this sale is going on, you know, I'm going to make sure I'm ready. We want to already be advertising in that January time. January is slow for every business, okay? Because January, everyone's trying to gather themselves from, you know, overspending in Christmas. That doesn't mean that they're blind in January. They are still going to be on Instagram. They are still going to be on the internet. They are still going to be seeing whatever are your product or services. If you are going to have something launching in February or March, let's go ahead and drip it in January. Hey, something new coming. You know, maybe if we're working on something, we're going to give a little behind the scenes on what we're working on. We're talking about why people need this product, why people need this service, what problem that we're solving, why your solution is better than what's already out on the market, why your solution is like nothing that's out there on the market, right? So if we're dripping what they need in January and February, when they get their money, they're already purchasing from you. Oh, I needed to take that class. I need this. I wanted that. Once I get my money, bam, now I go, right? But we have all of these other holidays, like I said, spring break, Memorial Day, Father's Day, Easter, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, spring break, not homecoming. It's gonna be like a spring formal, something in high schools. You got prom. Like there's a lot going on depending on what your product or service is that you can really, you know, hit a lick in this February, March, April, May, June. But we just need to be ready. But we can't get ready in January, right? We need to start getting ready now. So I will say this live. I went over things that we can do would be one, if you're just joining, revamping your website or kind of updating a page or two, whether it means adding a video, adding some more customer testimonials, maybe updating your photos. If you're on there, getting you a photo shoot. If you have a product on there, maybe updating the pictures for the product, just so that your returning customer doesn't just keep seeing the same thing, and then now they're bored, right? Like, oh, we keep going to the same restaurant on this day. Boring. You keep talking about the same thing. Boring. We got to kind of, you know, give them a little umph. Our social media, what can we do to give them a little more umph? You know, can we maybe update our reels, change a couple of things, whatever is working, give them more of that. If we're not even on social media, get on social media. Our logo, maybe we started our business on that shoestring budget. Now, who is calling my son this late on a school night? If maybe we were on a shoestring budget, you know, and we maybe did our own logo in Canva, or we paid a little Tukey in them, you know, to do our logo, and it's just not the best. Maybe we want to take this time to kind of revamp, refresh, kind of update our logo, right? To make it pop. Whatever you feel like you need to do to make your brand pop. We have to always be reinventing ourselves. You know, today's Beyonce's birthday. Hey, B. If you are watching the Renaissance tour like me, you know, she's going to have some standard outfits. Then she's going to change up an outfit for this song. Like from when she started her tour to now, it's not the same outfits for the different segments of the tour. Okay, so overseas, she had a couple of units, and she came over here for the first leg, had a couple of units, you know. Now in LA, I mean, honey, LA got different songs. LA got, you know, all new, you know, different units for her and the dancers. She's now ending on this West Coast. So it's like, even if you've been stalking this concert, you know, on Instagram, watching from city to city to city, when you show up with your ticket at that performance, it's still going to be new and fresh, right? And this is the highest grossing tour for a female artist, okay? So we're going to take a little note from B. What can we do to refresh our business? It could be the same thing that we're selling. Maybe we're just changing the name. Maybe we're just changing the packaging. Maybe we're just changing how it looks on the website. Maybe we're now adding bundles. So if I do lashes and I sell lashes and lash glue, maybe I'm making like a kit, like, I'm old. So what is the lingo for I don't know, City Girls, like the City Girls kit, right? So it's going to be like a little lash brush, maybe some lash glue in case your lashes get stuck, and maybe like a cleanser. So you don't have to do anything different, but maybe we're now bundling different products together because, everyone loves a bundle. Everyone loves a deal. Everyone, likes to get things like as a set. So kind of just, take September, just, nothing, you don't have to pull the trigger tomorrow, but, take some time just looking on your Instagram, looking at your website, looking if you like another brand, whether they are in your industry or not. What do you like about the brand? What makes them stand out? Why do you like them? And then you can maybe mirror, or they may give you an idea of, hey, I like that, but I'm going to add my own, 2 cents. I always believe you don't want to copy someone because then it's not you. You want to, you can be inspired, but then you want to kind of put your own little, 1, 2, 3 on it to make it you. So social media, website, price increase, or adding a higher ticket, a higher package, a higher bundle product. If you are a sale business, getting ready for Black Friday, Christmas, making sure that we have our inventory, stocked, making sure whatever are the glitches, and what your glitches are, like, oh, I need to work on this, or oh, I need to work on that. Whatever are the glitches, they just need to kind of be out so we can make this run come February, March, April, May, June. Okay. So that is my little 2 cents on what we need to do for the third quarter. If you don't have our branded email address, we need to go ahead and get that. If we don't have our website, maybe we only have a landing page, like, let's go ahead and, get that together. Just sometimes it takes some time to be creative. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may just need to just kind of just simmer in your thought, looking at different things to kind of get those juices flowing, right? So, but kind of make a note as to what you want to revamp. Another thing you can do is ask someone who will give you their honest opinion. Like, my mama is like brutally honest, right? Don't ask your friend who's like, oh, girl, it's good. Like, ask someone who's going to give you the truth. Like, what part of my brand is boring? Like, what can I revamp? I remember asking my best friend, like, what should I do with the firm? And she was like, ugh, your videos with the whiteboard are so boring. Nobody wants to watch an 8-minute video. Like, just give it to me in a minute. And I'm like, give it to you in a minute? Like, how can I explain the concept of blah, blah, blah in a minute? I don't want to hear the whole concept of blah, blah, blah. Just give me one section of the concept so I can understand it. And I was like, okay, well, you think I'm boring? Well, honey, I got pizzazz. Let me give you some pizzazz. So ask a friend. You can even do a poll in your story. Hey, like, what could I do to kind of catch your attention? Or what are some things what are some new things you would like to see from me, right? You can kind of ask your social media following. You can ask your friend, your family, or you can even ask some of your employees. I've gotten a lot of great ideas from my employees. Like, hey, y'all, like, if this was your business, what would you do different? Or, what could you add? If you have, people like to feel like they're a part of a community or a service or like a club. So if you have, a business that has a lot of repeat customers. So if you're like in a service business, like you're doing lashes, nails, makeup, you can kind of have like a membership club, right? So if you get, blah, blah, blah services, or if you spend X amount of money, if you have a boutique, then you get to be like in some kind of VIP club. At my salons, we had the doll club, right? So if you came to my salon and got 10 services, you became a doll. You would get a cute little card, right? When you walked in, we would have you in the system, and doll will be behind the person's name. So when they came in and checked in, the front desk receptionist would ring the bell, like, there's a doll in the house, and all of us like, hey, doll, right? I thought that was whack. Like, who gives a rat's ass about a doll? But people like to feel like they're a part of something, and they loved it. The clients like, take a bow, hey, I'm a doll. But then it got the people who weren't doll. Well, what's a doll? How do I become a doll? I want to be down. Well, you got to come here 10 times. Here's your card. Oh, on the 9th time, I'm a doll now. Make sure when I walk in, I get blah, blah, blah. On their birthday, they would get a free shampoo. On their birthday month, they would get a free shampoo and style. And they used to get like a little t-shirt, right? You can have your own little club. If you spend $500, then you get, 10% off your next order, or you get free shipping, But if you have a business that has a lot of repeat customers, kind of make an elite group for them, so people will want to spend more money to be. See, everybody wants to be in a group. Everybody wants to be VIP. Everybody wants to feel special, right? You fly first class not because you're about to get there sooner. You fly first class because I'm going to be able to sit down first. This stewardess is going to handle this badass queue. Is going to ask for snacks and cups and blah, blah, blah. I get to just, sit and relax. I'm going to get this little nasty food, but, at least I'm getting some food. I'm in the front of the plane. I get to get off first, and I'm going to have someone just tend to me. I mean, what all are they doing, right? They're not doing much, but hey, I can get a glass of wine. I can, I'm paying for first class for the service. I'm not getting to my destination any sooner, right? My bags will come out first, but I'm paying for the service. I'm paying to board the plane first. People want to feel special, right? So find something to make them feel special. You know your client, you know what they would like, but make them feel special. But those will be, I think, the kind of things that you can kind of just small little things. Like sometimes just the smallest little tweak just, takes your business to that next level, gives you that momentum, attracts that customer a little bit more, keeps your current customer engaged and a loyal customer. So you want to make sure that you're always dating your customer. Like you never want to get comfortable like, oh, well, they bought from me, they're going to always buy from me. Because no, there's always someone else who's doing the same product or service. Like you, unless you are inventing air or something, you're not really doing anything that no one else can do. It's just, I may like the way that you do it better. I may like the way that you deliver this better. I may like the way you make me feel by making this purchase. And so we never want to forget that. The second we start taking our customers for granted, baby, look at this same website, look at these same products, look at these same whatever, like this is me, I'm not changing nothing. Well, now I'm getting bored. Now I'm like, ugh. Let me go find something else. Like I'm the kind of person, I'm at Sephora almost every week. Like what product line has something new? Let me try a new foundation. Let me try a new lipstick. Like I like my stuff, but I'm still going to go see like what's new just to make sure I'm not missing out on anything, right? So you want to make sure that your customer feels like, oh my gosh, this person really cares about me. Boom, 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 boom. So let's see if we have any questions. I thought I saw a question earlier. Let me see. How y'all doing tonight? I mean, is anyone else loving that it's Beyonce's birthday and she came out with this pink? I'm just loving this little pink with the little shoulder off. Sell what is selling and remove doesn't. Thank you, Jerome Carpenter. Sell what is selling and remove what doesn't make a profit. Another thing we can do, if you have something that's just, it's just not it, right? Like you've been sitting on this product for X amount of days. Like it's just, you thought it was going to be it, but it's not that. Now would be a great time to put that on sale. Like if you're trying to just move something, this will be the perfect time. Black Friday, a November sale, October sale. Put that on sale to get rid of it, to get that cash flow, to then go buy the product that is selling. Okay, so if I have a boutique and I am selling black t-shirts and earrings and sweatshirts, nobody likes the earrings. Everybody likes the black t-shirts and sweatshirts, and I'm getting low. Well, instead of just, throwing money out, let me get rid of these earrings. So I may mark them off half off. Half off of my earring will still cover the cost of the earring and a little bit more. So I can get my money back, and then I can use that money to then re-up on my black my black t-shirt and my black sweatshirt money to get more inventory to be ready for that end of the year traffic or the beginning of next year sales. So whatever is not working, whatever is just not it, we can kind of get rid of that with a sale if you don't want to put all your stuff on sale. Okay. So that's my little two cents on, getting our business ready for this fourth quarter. Fourth quarter is going to start in October, but be mindful that for a lot of people, they're going to stop. December is really going to be Christmas. Like if you're not selling something that's going to be a gift, then people are going to kind of stop spending around like that December 15th, because that money is going to be normally focused on, getting whatever are going to be the Christmas gifts for their loved ones. So although the fourth quarter is not going to start until October, we may want to kind of start, getting some things out in September, since we're not really working with a full, 3 months, since a lot of people are going to stop just doing excess spending that's not Christmas related around that December 15th mark. A lot of people are going to be kind of checked out. And I'm into, taking my kid to go get his picture with Santa Claus and the snowman and, family trips and this, this holiday photo shoot, and then getting these pajamas, and, the kids are home from school, and then all that. So you want to be mindful. I don't know what industry you're in or what you're doing, as to, knowing that we don't have that full month of December for income for some people. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. My little stuff. See, my little stuff always freezes. My stuff always freezes. Okay. I don't have any questions. Alrighty. Okay, so everyone have a great, if I start my LLC like now this month, will it be too early to do taxes for that year? So taxes are done by the year. So if you start your LLC in 2023, so this year, then you can write off whatever you have spent on the business for your 2023 tax return. If you didn't have the LLC for the full year, you will write before the LLC, those expenses will go on your Schedule C as a sole proprietor. So it'd be like your name, your social, your sole proprietor, and your DBA business was blah, 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 blah. And then you'll write those expenses. And then if I formed my LLC, we're in September, then I'll have a second Schedule C on my tax return. And then from September to December, I will write off all the expenses from my business from September to December on the second Schedule C under my LLC. So you won't lose the expenses by forming an LLC. You're just going to write them off you'll have two Schedule Cs on your tax return. That brings up a good point also. If you are planning on buying any inventory for next year, 2024, and we have a strong cash flow, meaning, every month, like all of our bills are being paid and we have excess money, you may want, of course, talk to your CPA and accountant, but you may need to purchase the additional inventory, the packaging, the product, a car. You may need to purchase the item in 2023 if we already had a strong cash flow for 2023 to help with the tax deduction. Okay. Whatever you spend this year can be written off. So if you already know, like if I'm already going to spend $10,000 on buying black shirts, and I know for a fact that every 3 months I got to spend $10,000 to re-up on black shirts because I always buy my black shirts. Well, if I may have been doubling my income because I'm selling more black shirts, I may go ahead and and re-up on my inventory ahead. Okay. Like when I had my hair salons, tax season always hits February, March, April, but there's like a 2-week holiday that the supplier would take. So, and we had a cash flow issue of making too much money, right? So we would start in September, double or tripling our orders, right? So instead of maybe doing 60 grand a month in hair, I'm buying 120, right? Because the hair is not going to go stale. It's not going to, die. It's not like it's food. And I'm buying the same thing, straight, wavy, curly, 12 to 30 in. I'm buying the same stuff, right? So we would double up September, October, November, December. So although I know I'm not going to be selling this until 2024, I can write it off on my taxes on 2023. Okay, so that's why tax planning is so important. So get with a business CPA, a business accountant. I always refer on Instagram the tax CEO or sassy accountant. But you may want to think about buying your inventory now so you can take that tax deduction, this year to kind of, offset whatever is going to be the check that your CPA wants to tell you have to cut to the I, the R, and the S. Okay. So that may be one thing you want to do. Okay, keeping the same logo but animating it. So I don't know how someone would see an animated logo, because normally a logo is just going to be printed on something, and the logo has to be in a certain format so that if it has to be expanded or print on something bigger, when they expand the logo, it's not going to distort the image. So I don't really know if making an animated logo is really going to do anything. But once again, I don't know what your business is and, where it's going to be shown, where it's animated. Okay, let me make sure. Hey, Mark, how are you doing? I'm a children's book writer and I'm under a sole proprietor tax right. Yes, if you're a sole proprietor, then it's gonna all your income for your business will fall on your Schedule C on your personal 1040 return. Joy, you explain things so well. Thank you, girl. Okay, well, I don't see any more questions. Let me check my little chat first. Can you file bankruptcy to cancel debt under your name and then file your name as an LLC after? So before filing bankruptcy, how much debt do you have? Who is this? Okay, Big Money Texas. How much is the debt? Bankruptcy, you can come back from anything, right? But you want to make sure if you're going to file bankruptcy that the debt that you're that you have a debt that can be discharged in bankruptcy. And then number 2, the amount of the debt is worth the hassle that you're going to have to withstand with doing the bankruptcy. Filing your name. I don't know who's out here saying make your name an LLC, but making your name an LLC is not going to change anything. Okay, so I saw one live where a man said, make your LLC your name, and then you can use the EIN for the LLC like it's your social. So when you apply for utilities, and this is like, maybe like, how do I say this nicely? I can't. All this nigga shit is like, just do business the right way. Okay? People know what a social security number is, and people know what an EIN number is. If they're running a check on your social, they're looking to pull your credit. Okay? So if you put your name and an EIN, when they run it, the business name is going to pop up. If you're trying to get lights on in a residence and you're saying you're a business name, they don't want the business. They want the person who's living in there, their social. They want to see, have you skipped out on a previous light bill? Okay, they want to see what is your credit score to see, do you have to put a security deposit down? Okay, so all these nickel and dime, I just listening like, what part of this makes sense to you? Because it doesn't make sense to me. Same thing with the CPN numbers. Like, all this stuff, it doesn't work. Okay, the dealership is calling the police, or they're flagging your credit report saying that you have a CPN. Well, how do I know? Because I have a dealership and I can tell when it's a CPN number. Okay, and the banks will flag you. So if you got to file bankruptcy and it's enough of the debt to file bankruptcy, file bankruptcy. Okay, bankruptcy is not the end. You will have to rebuild your personal credit, but in the interim, you can just start establishing business credit, right? The business credit isn't going to get your lights on, at your home. It's not going to get your water turned on. It's not going to help with your trash, but you can start establishing business credit and, work your way up to get credit cards, to be able to use the credit cards, or, for whatever it is that you want to use them for. The bankruptcy will eventually be discharged. Will eventually come off your credit report. There are credit repair companies that can, take the bankruptcy off, but I wouldn't file bankruptcy on $30,000 worth of debt. It needs to be a real debt, so that whatever is the hassle that you're going to have to do to rebuild your credit is worth getting that amount of debt discharged. Okay. Let's see. After the LLC, will the IRS immediately separate sole proprietor and business automatically? Okay. So if you're talking about the IRS, so an LLC is handled at the state level. Your federal taxes are handled at the federal level. So the IRS and your Secretary of State are two separate entities. So the IRS is not calling every Secretary of State and vice versa. They are like two separate entities. So it's kind of like you and your neighbor. Your neighbor, if they're not nosy, don't know nothing about what you got going on in your house, right? And vice versa. So just because you form an LLC, the IRS doesn't know that you formed an LLC. The IRS only knows you formed an LLC when you tell them. You tell the IRS that you formed an LLC by filing a Schedule C on your personal tax return. It's going to be a form where you're going to list your LLC name. You're going to list the EIN, or the employer identification number of the LLC. And then you're going to also list the income and the expenses of the LLC. When the IRS gets that Schedule C with the LLC information on, they're then going to know, oh, you went and formed an LLC. Now, for tax purposes, a single member LLC is taxed the same as a sole proprietor, meaning if you form an LLC, if you don't form an LLC, you are still going to be taxed the same. Asset protection, business credit, business credibility, all that's different. But in the IRS's eyes, for tax purposes, a single member LLC and a sole proprietor, they're taxed the same. Unless you tell the IRS, hey, IRS, I have an LLC, but I want you to tax me as an S Corp. If that's what you're wanting, then you will need to file a form 2553 or 2552 with the IRS saying, hey, I have an LLC, but don't tax me as a sole proprietor. I want you to tax me as an S Corp. So the IRS is not going to know anything about what you got going on, what you have formed, or how you want to be taxed. You are going to have to tell the IRS what you are wanting. Okay? Let me know if that explained your question, receiving mode crystals. Okay, let me see if I have any more questions. Don't they have to use your personal credit to determine your business credit? Okay, no. So, business credit is going to be credit that's based solely in your business's EIN, which is your employer identification number. It has nothing to do with your personal credit, okay? But business credit is similar to personal credit, meaning just because you form an LLC, you don't automatically get a credit score. You are going to have to actually go through the process of establishing business credit. So to say it quickly, you establish business credit by first getting your Dun & Bradstreet number or your DUNS number. After you get your EIN, you're going to then work through the 4 tiers. So you're going to go through your net 30 accounts, your store credit cards and gas credit cards, then your cash credit cards like Capital One, Chase, American Express, and then it's going to be the bank. So vehicle financing, lines of credit, or loans. If you form your LLC and get your EIN, but you fail to establish business credit, meaning when they run your EIN, a paydex score is not popping up. Trade lines are not popping up. Imagine a kid who's 18 who has nothing in his name. When he walks into Mercedes to finance an S550 and they run his credit and it's a 0, he's not going to get financed, right? So same thing for a business. When they run your EIN number or your DUNS number, and there is no business credit, then your business does not have credit. That's why they're going to ask you for your personal social. So your business has no credit, so you have to be a personal guarantor because we're not going to extend credit to a business that doesn't have a certain paydex score. And normally you need to have an 80 paydex score, okay? So they're only going to ask for your personal credit if you don't have strong enough business credit. The two are totally separate. So you can have horrible personal credit and A1 business credit. And vice versa. You can have no business credit and A1 personal credit. Okay. So the personal and business have nothing to do with each other. If you don't have business credit established or a high enough business credit score, then they're going to require you to be a personal guarantor, meaning, hey, nothing came up in your business, so I want you to be on the hook for this debt, okay? And, you know, if you establish business credit, you don't have to tie up your personal credit. Okay, I have 4 LLCs and I have 1 nonprofit, but I do need some help and other questions answered. Okay, so Big Money Texas, I would say just book a little consultation so I can kind of get you a game plan, okay? Do I need an EIN if I have no employees? My business is made to order business. If you have an LLC, Divine Arrangements Plus, then every business needs to have its own employer identification number or EIN number. That's going to be the number for the business. It has nothing to do with employees. The EIN is going to be the social security number for the business. That's why you need the EIN number. What's the best thing to boost your business credit? Trade lines. So starting from tier 1, you got to get your net 30 accounts, then your store credit card accounts, then your cash credit card accounts, then you can go into the bank for vehicle financing or line of credit. But you got to start with the net 30s, and you need to be looking for a paydex score of an 80. I have a one-on-one business credit program in my bio. What is the difference in taxes on a Schedule C and the S Corp? Okay, so the difference is going to be LLCs and sole proprietors pay a 15.3% self-employment tax on all of the profits, okay? For taxes, you're only going to be taxed on the profits, meaning if you're making money. So if you're breaking zero, then any kind of tax savings or all of this is, you're not going to be paying taxes if you don't have a profit. If you are an LLC or a sole proprietor, the IRS is going to tax you a self-employment tax, 15.3%. That's going to be for your FICA, your Medicare, your Social Security. If you don't want to pay that 15.3% self-employment tax, then you would want to opt to be taxed as an S Corp. An S Corp does not pay the 15.3% self-employment tax. However, an S Corp is not going to file a Schedule C. An S Corp is going to file its own tax return. It's going to be an 1120S. So, if you're filing a Schedule C on your personal tax return, your tax preparation fee is going to be about the same. If you're filing a business tax return, depending on how complicated the return is, you're looking at paying around $750 to about $2,500 for that return. So one, you're going to have the additional expense of the S Corp tax return. Number two, the requirement to be an S Corp is that one of the owners has to be on a salary, meaning you have a paycheck coming every 2 weeks with payroll taxes being taken out. Normally, saving on that 15.3% self-employment tax doesn't outweigh the requirement of being on a payroll and paying the additional tax return until you're making about $60,000 to $80,000 in profit. If you're meaning after all the money you make in your business minus your business bills, if you're making about $60,000 to $80,000, you need to be coming on over to be taxed as an S Corp because you're going to be saving money in taxes. If you're not quite there, or if you can't afford to be on payroll, then you'll want to wait to make that S Corp election until you can kind of sustain that payroll. So that is the difference between an S Corp and an LLC. Okay. How do you apply for a DUNS number? You're going to go to D as in David, N as in Nancy, B as in boy.com. So DNB.com. Can you post those? Yes, I when I post this live, I will also add the two CPAs that I recommend so y'all can get with them. Thank you. Another thing we need to be doing going into the fourth quarter is finding ourselves a business accountant, okay? A CPA or an accountant. They do not have to be in your state because taxes are federal. And every tax preparer can prepare the federal and the state tax. But when February hits, CPAs and accountants are busy, right? So having the availability to meet with you, they are, they make their money from like January to April. They are booked and busy from January to April. So now would also be a good time to book a consultation with a CPA. You'll need to bring your numbers, like how much you're making versus how much your expenses are, so they can kind of know where you are financially to know how to advise you on tax planning. But if you don't already have a CPA or an accountant, and now would also be a great time to start making those consultations. Kind of, who do you like? Who's really giving you the information? Business is all relational. Like, I like this person. I kind of vibe with this person. So if you don't already have one, if you're in business, we don't need to be doing our own taxes. Like, I don't believe in playing with the church's money. So you don't want to make a mistake, and then that mistake is going to cost you penalties, fines, all of that, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Okay. So if you are, If you don't have a business accountant or CPA, you should be making a consultation with someone to talk to them. If you are making $60,000 to $80,000 in profit for the year, right? So that's gonna be about, if you're bringing home about $5,000 a month in profit, you need to be looking at your options as far as being an S corp and letting them know, like, hey, I think I need to be making this S corp, and kind of getting their recommendation. But make sure that your CPA, your accountant is how do I say this? Older people are very experienced, but sometimes older people are dinosaurs, meaning like they're not up on whatever are the new, tax laws, tax changes, deductions, blah, blah, blah. Another thing is, some people are more used to preparing returns for like individuals, so like 1040 returns that may have some, rental income, and they may have some, retirement income, some distributions, but they may not be, really savvy on, business taxes and all that kind of stuff. So you want to find a CPA or an accountant, and that's who I'm recommending, but, feel free to find your own. You want to find someone who what they do is business taxes. So they are up on all of the deductions, in your industry. They're going to be able to advise you like, hey, if you have any kind of equipment, you need to go ahead and buy it now, because as of now, you're looking at cutting a check for blah, blah, blah. I just saw on the other day, Kylie Jenner I don't know if she just bought it or she has a private jet. She paid $78 million for a private jet, but she bought it in December because she had a big tax bill when she went public. She makes $130 million a year, but she also had some additional money. She merged a big corporation, bought into her company, which she made a lot of money. But when you make a lot of money, that means you're going to pay a lot of taxes. And so she just spent like $72 or $78 million on a jet, but she had to buy it in December, to reduce her tax bill. Meaning this, your CPA is going to tell you, okay, based on the income you made and your expenses, you're looking at writing the IRS a check for $80,000. You're like, $80,000? $80,000, right? Is there anything that you can buy that you can use next year? Like if you're a restaurant owner, you don't want to, buy excess produce or food because it's not going to last, right? But if I only sell this black sweatshirt and I sell it all year round, well, why not re-up on my inventory? So maybe I can spend $80,000 on inventory, and that will just wipe out my tax bill. So I'm not cutting a check to the IRS. So when people say it's a tax deduction, it's meaning you're going to write this check regardless. Either you're going to send it to the IRS, or you're going to send it to your inventory supplier, or you're going to send it to the private jet supplier. But you are writing this check. So that's why it's important to already have a business accountant and a CPA. And it's important to always know your numbers monthly, okay? You can use QuickBooks, FreshBooks. If you're a paper and pen kind of a person, I have the business tax planner, which will have you, manually write down your income every day, plus your expenses. So when you're in your business, you are busy in the hustle and bustle, okay? The employee called out, an employee quit, equipment broke down, your inventory is stuck overseas, you are busy just running the business. And you may forget, dang, February, March, and April, my sales doubled, right? And then you get to the end of the year, and then, the end of the year ends and you aren't talking to anyone. You forgot you had those big months, and then, you didn't do your taxes in April. You got that extension. So now it's October when most businesses do their taxes, and you get hit with, you have to write the IRS a check for $80,000. You're going to hit the ground. Like, what? Versus if you are keeping up with your numbers every single month and you're letting your accountant know, hey, this year for some reason, I'm doing double of what I did last year. What are my numbers looking like? And he'll tell you, hey, based on what you're doing, like it's not going to be exact, right? Because he's not getting all your expenses. He's kind of just going over your P&L. But hey, based on this, you're looking at this year writing the IRS a check for blah, blah, blah. Okay, if you have to write a check for blah, 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 that means that you need a deduction in that year. So if in 2023, I'm going to owe 30 grand in taxes, me buying something in 2024 is not going to help me in 2023. Okay, but you need to know this before 2023 ends. This is called tax planning. They may say, hey, are you interested in buying a car or a truck? Do you plan on buying any kind of vehicles for your business? You may want to go ahead and make that down payment now in 2023, to write that depreciation, or if you get an SUV that's 6,000 pounds, write that off because you're looking at writing a check for blah, 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 blah. Okay. This is why it's so important for tax planning. While I'm doing this live, what are we trying to, make sure that we cover in, this last quarter? So we always stay ready. We don't have to get ready. So that is why we need to, you need to be making these consultations, find someone, and then be able to, let them know what you have going on. These are my busier months, and what do I need to be doing? And they will be able to advise you based on what your income is and your expenses in, what you're looking at, and what are some things that you can do. They should even be telling you, like my CPA will be like, hey, do you need to do any, you need some depreciation? Like, do you need to re-up on any equipment? If you do, you need to go ahead and knock this out now. Oh, word, bam. Well, let me get this, and this, right? Because I don't want to write anything. I don't want to write a check for anything more than I need to. Okay. So all of these things are going to be benefiting you. Okay. Let's see if I missed any other questions. If you're just logging in, I will save this live. I kind of cover, what we need to be doing. What's a good way to build business credit? You're going to start with your tier 1 vendors or your net 30 accounts. What is the purpose of a DUNS number? A DUNS number is the number. Okay, so Dun & Bradstreet is the largest business credit bureau. So there's 3 business credit bureaus: Dun & Bradstreet, Small Business Experian, and Small Business Equifax. Okay. When it comes to financing, you need to have an 80 paydex score. A paydex score is your FICO score for the Dun & Bradstreet Business Credit Bureau. So you need a DUNS number so that you can start establishing business credit. That's why you need a DUNS number. It's free, and you can get it at DNB, D as in David, N as in Nancy, B as in boy.com. Okay? All right. Well, I have an early lash appointment. See how ratchet I am? I have a lash appointment in the morning and the gym. So I will save this live. Everyone have a good evening, and I will, of course, see you at the bank.